Everyone has to have a go-to sticky date stiffy. Yeah. Hi everybody and welcome to my kitchen. Guess what we're making today? Sticky date or sticky toffee with butterscotch sauce, and it is delightful. I've just cut myself a piece, poured the sauce all over the top, and this is what I'm having for my lunch today. Super easy to make, basic ingredients and freezer friendly, because that's what we're gonna do with this. Pop it in the freezer so that we don't eat it all. So stay tuned and I'll show you how easy this recipe is. So to start our sticky date or sticky toffee, we need to prepare our dates. So I've got 275 grams of dates that I've just roughly chopped. So I'm just gonna pop those into a little saucepan. And to this, I'm adding 450 grams or 450 mils of just plain water. Now it's not hot water, it's just tap water. So in that goes on top of your dates. Now I'm just gonna put this on a low heat and bring it to a simmer. And when I bring it to a simmer, I'm just gonna turn it straight off. So on the heat that goes. So while my dates and water are heating up, I can prepare the rest of my batter. So now I'm gonna add my butter and my sugar. So I've got 100 grams of softened butter, and to this I'm adding 275 grams of brown sugar. Now if you don't have brown sugar, you can just use raw sugar, caster sugar, or just granulated sugar. But the dark brown sugar, it does make a difference in the flavour of your sticky date. So in that goes. And now I'm just gonna cream those together. Now you can use your handheld for this, or you can just do it by hand with a wooden spoon. Now as you can see, it's just blending in, and then we just keep mixing it until it creams together. I'll speed up so that I go my Speedy Gonzales. Otherwise, I'll just stand here and just mix away. I'm in no hurry because my dates have to come to a simmer, and then I'm gonna turn them off. I'm gonna let them cool. So I've got all the time in the world to just cream my butter and sugar together, don't I? Now this recipe calls for a teaspoon of vanilla extract, and I like to put that in now. Now the little bit of moisture from the vanilla extract does help with the creaming of my butter, and also I love the smell. I love to be able to smell the vanilla and the butter and the sugar. They just smell divine. Now I've just been roughly bringing that together with my wooden spoon, and you can see that it's coming together already. Now I'm just going to keep on stirring that until it becomes lighter in colour. And with the brown sugar dissolves quite quickly. Now while I'm standing here creaming my butter and sugar, my date and water have come to a simmer. So I've turned that off, and it's just a simmer. It doesn't look like anything special. It's just softening my dates. And now to this, I'm going to add a teaspoon of baking soda, bicarb soda, baking soda. And then I'll just give that a mix. And it foams up. You can see that's normal. It foams up, and the bicarb or the baking soda will help soften our dates. And you can use that in other things to soften them, especially with your meats. If you're making a stir fry, when you marinate your meats, just put a little bit of soda in there and you'll be surprised at how soft and tender it makes your meat. And now I'm just going to set that aside to cool and get back to creaming this butter and sugar. We haven't got long to go. So I've been standing here for a minute or so. It hasn't taken very long at all. And you can see that my mix has lightened in colour, and I can feel that the sugar has started to dissolve. So now we need to add some eggs. Now I'm going to add 3 eggs to this, and I'm just going to add 1 at a time. Now as always, if you're not sure about your eggs, break them into a separate little bowl and then add them. But I got these fresh on the weekend, so I think I'm good to go. Ooh, a little bit harder. So in with my first egg, and I'm just going to cream that through. So the first egg's in, and as you can see, it looks like a cake batter already. So I'll go ahead and do the same, just keep adding another 2 eggs, mixing them as I go. So my 3 eggs are in, and my batter looks fantastic. It's nice and light in colour. and it's really smooth and creamy. Now, while I've been doing that, my date mix has had a chance to cool down a bit. It's still warm, but it has cooled. It's not boiling. So I'm just gonna add that in. Now, when you're pouring, just pour onto your wooden spoon so it doesn't splash all over you. Trying not to make too much mess. And now I'm just gonna stir all that through ever so gently. Oh, without doing that, I just splashed it all over myself. So try not to do that. Just go gently. Just making sure that your cake batter has evenly melted all through that hot water and date mix, which mine has. So now we can add some flour. Now we're using self-raising flour today for this one, and I'm gonna add 275 grams. So I'm just gonna slip my scales under there, and I'm just gonna add that straight into my bowl. No sifting required. And now we'll just mix all of that together, once again, being nice and gentle. So I've got that all mixed, and I'm just gonna set that aside, and we're gonna prepare our pan. Now I'm just using a glass dish today because I don't have a pan with a high enough side. You want a high enough side that's about 5 centimeters, otherwise your pudding's gonna overflow. So this is the only one that I've got that has a high side. Now this one, I measured it, it's a 22 centimeter by 35 centimeter. So now I'm just gonna butter that all over, very generously. And then in with our batter. Now our batter is really runny. Don't be alarmed, it's meant to be. So in that goes. And now I'm just gonna pop this in the oven. Now I have my fan forced oven set at 180 today. So if you don't have a fan, you put yours at 190, or keep it at 180 and just keep an eye on it. So I'll pop that in, and then I'm gonna set my timer for about 25 minutes. I think it's gonna cook for about 30 minutes, but I wanna check on it at 25. So that's in, oven timer, 25 minutes. Oh, not 35, 25, and then I can clean up my mess. Oh, I had to go reassess my outfit. I just got too hot. The weather has been so crazy for us. We're getting really cool overnight. It can drop to about 8, 10 degrees, and then it's heating up during the day. But then the days could be freezing as well. Middle of February, we haven't had much of a summer, but it is supposed to heat up this week, so let's hope, fingers crossed. So that was my 25-minute oven timer, so I'll get this out and we'll have a look at it. Very carefully. Now it feels pretty good. It feels nice and firm. It feels really hot. So I'm just gonna stick a toothpick in, see what it looks like. Now my toothpick has come out clean, and I reckon that's pretty good. I'm not gonna take it another 5 minutes. I am gonna leave that after 25. For me, that is perfect. Oven off. Now we can get on to making our butterscotch sauce. Now on to our butterscotch sauce. Now this couldn't be any easier. So I have 100 grams of butter straight into my little pot. And then to this, I'm adding 2 cups of brown sugar. But 2 cups of packed brown sugar. You want it really packed in there. So this is my ½ cup measure that I'm using, so I want 4 of those. And then to this, I'm adding 500 mils of cream. Now you can use thickened cream, or you can just use pure cream, and that's what I've got today, just pure cream. Now I'm just gonna pop this on a low heat until I melt the butter and combine it all, and then I'll show you what it looks like. So while I'm bringing that up to heat, I'm just gonna keep stirring it just to make sure that the butter starts to dissolve, and because I just can't help myself but stir, stir, stir. Now I've just run some heat through that just to make sure that my sugar is dissolved and my butter has melted. And as you can see, it's still really runny. It's probably the same consistency as the cream was. So my butter's all melted nicely, and I'm just gonna leave it on the heat. So did I say? It's on my smallest gas burner, but I've got that on high. And now I'm gonna bring it to a simmer, and I'm just gonna simmer it until it thickens. And that's it. Probably take about 4 or 5 minutes. But I am gonna continue to stir it, because there is nothing worse than if your caramel sticks or your sauce sticks. It's devastating. You get all flecks through it. So continue to stir it. and don't put your heat too high. Now, when you're making your butterscotch sauce, you might want to put yours in a little bit bigger pot than mine because mine's coming quite close to the top as it bubbles. So if you don't want to live on the edge, get a bigger pot. So my sauce is thickened up nicely. Now that quantity of sauce is going to take about 5 to 10 minutes to reduce down a little bit. I always double the sauces when I find a recipe because I just don't think they make enough. So with this recipe, you're certainly going to have enough. And now that's thickened up. Now don't let it go too thick. We're not making a caramel, we're making a sauce. So I'm just going to set that aside because it's extremely hot, and then we can put our sticky date together. Now when you're making your sticky date, you can put these into individual little ramekins or you can put them in your cupcakes, but I feel like everything I make is round and I really love this to be cut into little squares. That's my favourite, and to me that's sticky date when you get a square of it. But if you wanted to serve it up in little ramekins and give everybody an individual serving, then this recipe lends itself to that. Now my cake is still nice and warm, and I'm going to flip that out so that I can cut it up. And then we can watch it come away from the glass pan, and there she goes. Out. And yeah, there's a little bit stuck in the pan, but doesn't matter. Now this is a fantastic recipe to pop in the freezer, and when you want a quick dessert, you can just get a piece out, let it defrost or pop it in your microwave, and then put your sauce on the top. And I'll show you what we're going to do to store our sauce so that we can use it in portions. Now, as always, I like to serve a generous portion of this. It's not super thick, so you can have a bigger slice. So I'm going to cut it into 4. You guys probably cringe when you hear my knife touch on that rack, but I do it all the time. Not very good for your knives, I don't imagine. And then I'm just going to go along and cut into 3 because I think that is the portion that I want. And you don't have to be that precise. There's always somebody that wants the bigger piece or somebody that just wants a little piece because they've overeaten at dinner. Now, when you're putting your sticky date together, I always like to put mine just in a shallow bowl because I like to have lots of sauce and I like to spread it around everywhere and really enjoy myself. Now that's the cake on the inside. It is absolutely beautiful and it's really moist and really sticky and soft. That top is really sticky. Well, that's the bottom, isn't it? Now when I'm serving my sauce, I always put it into a jug and try and choose a jug that pours nicely, because if I try and just pour this out of my pan now, I can imagine where it's going to go. Butterscotch sauce in my pot, no drips. Now, I always serve mine with vanilla ice cream, but I always put my sauce on first. So pour away. I'll show you what it looks like. And then I'm just going to spread my sauce around in my bowl so it really looks like it's swimming in it. Oops. Now a big dollop of vanilla ice cream straight on the top. That is my favourite. And just use the vanilla ice cream that you like. I like to buy these little tubs because I just find that when I do something like this, it's the perfect amount to go on the top. So there is our sticky date with butterscotch sauce and vanilla ice cream, or sticky toffee as it's also known as. Now this is delightful. And like I said, I'm going to store mine in the freezer. Oops, there goes my ice cream floating away. Now, when you're serving this, put a little bit more sauce on the table just in case someone gets halfway through and they run out of sauce. Oh, you just can't help but start gobbling it down with the first few mouthfuls, and then by the end you might not have enough. And there is ample sauce in that recipe to go around. So I've got my sticky date here that I will wrap and store individually so that I can just get one piece out whenever I want it. But I also want to store my sauce in individual portions. I can store that in the fridge, but it's not going to keep forever. Guess I didn't have 12. So I've already used 1 serving of my sauce. So I'm just gonna go ahead and just even out the rest of my sauce into these little cup cases using my jug. And there we have 11 portions of sauce. Now, once that has cooled on my bench for a little while, I'm gonna just pop that in the freezer. And once it's frozen solid, I can just pop these out into a Ziploc bag, label it butterscotch sauce, and every time I get a piece of this beautiful cake out, I can get one of these out as well, and I will have butterscotch sauce. Now the key is, now keep in mind this is going to be frozen. I will get this out frozen. I will get one of my little blocks out frozen. I'll just sit them in a bowl, let them defrost, then pop it in the microwave for about a minute, and you will have sticky date, and then put your ice cream on the top. It doesn't get any better than that. But if you are making this fresh to serve for 12 guests, then you go right ahead and you just take your jug straight to the table and let everybody pour their own sauce. Or maybe not, maybe the first person will use it all up. So maybe you should do that in the kitchen and then take it out. So there we have our beautiful sticky toffee or sticky date with butterscotch sauce and vanilla ice cream. Yeah, fair enough, I didn't make the vanilla ice cream, but hey, I made the cake and I made the sauce. Now this is a must. Everyone has to have a go-to sticky date stiffy. Yeah, so everybody needs a go-to sticky toffee or sticky date, and this is mine. It works every single time and it's absolutely delicious. Now Douglas, if you have not found your sticky toffee pudding yet, then give this one a go. I'm sure you are gonna love it, and it doesn't get any easier. And we will do a steamed pudding sometime soon. And also, I haven't forgotten about those cream buns. Keep suggesting these recipes for me, and I'll keep finding a really good one and deliver it to you. In the meantime, don't forget you can send your recipes in. And keep the emails coming. I love hearing from you guys. It's like we have a whole new group of friends. So this one is my go-to sticky date. Give it a go. It couldn't be any easier. Once again, basic ingredients, and it delivers 12 huge slices of sticky date, plus plenty of sauce with this recipe. So I better go wander off up to the shed and share this with Steve, otherwise I'll sneak around the corner and eat it all to myself. It's that good. Give it a go. And in the meantime, don't forget, take care and press the like and subscribe button, and I will see you for the next recipe.